Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Connecting with Kim here on Tampa Bay Arts and Education Network. We are so thrilled that you joined us today because, as usual, we have another great show bringing you great information that makes living your life in our corner of paradise just a little bit better. And before I start and introduce my guests, you know I always like to give a shout out to my sponsor, the Spring of Tampa Bay, who provides my on-air wardrobe from the Spring Boutique located at the corner of Swann and Henderson here in Tampa. And they supply my clothes, and you guys know to go check out my Instagram and my Facebook account to find out exactly which wonderful pieces came from the Spring Boutique. And as you know, the Spring of Tampa Bay provides sanctuary and services to survivors of domestic violence, and they have been doing so since 1977, and all net proceeds from the thrift store and the boutique go to support their mission. So please give them your business because it's a worthwhile cause. So I'm so excited. I'm going to try not to act like a total groupie today in this interview because this is a subject that I love so much, and I'm so thrilled to introduce my guest to you today, Cheryl Flood, who is the CEO of the Florida State Fair Authority. Welcome, Cheryl, to Connecting with Kim.
Thank you for having me on. I'm very excited.
It's my pleasure because we've talked before you came on and before you committed to do the interview. I love State Fair. I love State Fair so much. I never miss it. I always go. I have my routine from the minute I walk through the gates to exactly what I'm going to see before I walk out of the gates. And I just love it so much. So this is like so great for me.
Well, thank you for being such a great ambassador.
I tell everybody about State Fair, and I post a million pictures on my Facebook account and Instagram account because I want everybody to go and enjoy the State Fair. But before we start talking about the State Fair, because there's so many great things to talk about for the upcoming Florida State Fair, I want you to take a moment, take as many moments as you like, and share a little bit about your life journey thus far with our watchers and our listeners because they want to know about you.
Sure. So I grew up in a small town called Frostproof. My parents were in the cattle business, so I grew up in an organization called Florida FFA. So I actually, as a child, showed cattle at the Florida State Fair and the Polk County Youth Fair. So I knew at a young age that my passion was agriculture and livestock, and I went on and pursued a degree in agriculture at the University of Florida. When I graduated, I wanted to work for the Commissioner of Agriculture, so I've had the privilege of working for 4 different commissioners of agriculture in the state, and still to this day in this current role, I currently work for the commissioner. So, you know, the position opened up, I applied, and I've certainly enjoyed my time at the Florida State Fair. My passion is agriculture and education, and I love serving the public, and that's what we're about.
I love the full circleness of this.
Yes.
Growing up in agricultural background and then coming all the way to the State Fair because, you know, I try to tell people from Florida because we have a lot of new residents moving into Florida all the time. I try to explain to them agriculture is the #1 business of the state of Florida. It is a huge economic generator, and we need to support, defend our agriculture because it's a tremendous. Tourism is second. It's important, but it's second. So this is so exciting. So where do you want to start talking about the upcoming Florida State Fair?
So we've been preparing for months, and we are so excited. We are celebrating our 119th anniversary of the State Fair right here in Tampa Bay. We have so much pride being in this community for 119 years.
Wonderful.
So we're so excited. Our team's been planning for months. We've got a lot of new foods and new rides. Our youth and exhibitors have been working for months to showcase their works here at the Florida State Fair, so we're excited to have the public out on February 9th and really just showcase what we've been working so hard for.
Well, that's the first thing we should do is talk about when is the Florida State Fair going to be in 2023?
Sure, it's February 9th through the 20th. We open on a Thursday and close on President's Day.
Okay, great. So I have so many questions about what goes on behind the scenes. So let's take it from the last day when the State Fair closes. Let's take it back to this year, and because we're filming this in 2022. So what happens when the fair closes? You start planning for the next state fair, right?
We do. We schedule and plan a year in advance. Of course, we're just not we have the Florida State Fair, which is our annual event, but we also host events on the fairgrounds year-round. So we host over 300 events on property throughout the year as well. So we're busy year-round. A lot of people don't know that, but we host a ton of consumer-type shows at the fairgrounds.
Well, and also Cracker Country is open pretty much year-round at the fairgrounds.
It is. So we host over about 25,000 school tours throughout the year. So we have special events there as well. So we also, during the fair, it's open and free to the public.
And I know you've had some recent events there, like the Farm Bureau dinner was there. A lot of organizations associated with agriculture.
We do. During the fair, we have the Ag Hall of Fame dinner, which they showcase and honor inductees that have contributed a significant amount to the Florida agriculture industry. That's during the fair as well, and also the Woman of the Year in Agriculture.
Oh, that's you know, and I think people don't realize that because like before this this interview is going to broadcast, you're going to have the RV fair right at the fairgrounds.
Yes, with the Super RV show. It's starting January 18th.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
I always like to go to that too because not that I could ever really actually live in an RV, but I like the idea that I think I could.
And people love it. I mean, it's one of the largest RV shows in the country. And honestly, anything you want RV related, it's there. We have over 2,000 units on property. So anything from small to the very large RVs, we've got any kind of showcase you can imagine on property. So come check it out.
So let's talk about how you generate all the different aspects of the state fair because you know the state fair covers there's obviously the rides, the midway,
Sure.
what we'll just call the midway for and then there's all the food vendors, and then there's all the livestock in those exhibits, and then there's the hall where the two halls actually where people are coming in, vendors are coming in to sell things, right?
Commercial
and
hall.
then there's it's a commercial aspect. Then there's the aspect of the folks that have made things.
Craftsman Marketplace.
Yeah, and want to, they've won ribbons for them, or they're submitting them to win ribbons. And then there's the special exhibit that goes on as you enter that hall, so we got to talk about that. And then there's the IFAS is there, the extension is there, and then there's the part that I love especially is where the kids, all the things the kids have done. So let's kind of break that down and take it piece by piece. So how do you go about planning the midway? Because let's face it, that's a huge draw for state.
That's absolutely true. And we've got one of the largest midways in the country. So we have over 80 rides to offer the public. We've got the Midway Skies, which is one of the largest traveling wheels in the country, which is it's beautiful at night. You've got to come see it. It's just absolutely spectacular, the light show on it. And families love to come out and enjoy. Like I said, we have a huge offering from, age 4 years old to 80 years old in rides. So if you like thrill or if you like, merry-go-round, we've got all types of rides for the public to enjoy.
And so as soon as the state fair closes, you start working on those people that are going to commit to be part of that midway next year.
We do. Wade Shows is our midway manager, and he works year-round to make sure we have the best of the best rides at the Florida State Fair.
And they come from all over, right?
They do, all over the country.
Okay. And so we know another big draw of the state fair is the food vendors. So let's talk about how that happens.
So a year in advance, once the fair closes from last year, we start booking for next year. We have a lot of the same exhibitors that come back and a lot of the same foods. People come back to the fair they may want a specific, like a donut or something like that. The Amish donut that we have is such a, highlight every year at the fair. So we book over 200 food concessionaires that come back to the fair, some new, some old, and the public just loves anything sweet to savory. We've got something for you to enjoy.
I am always amazed as I walk that area. I am always amazed at what is on offer. I mean, like sometimes you stand there and you go, who would have thought of offering that?
I know.
Or putting that combination together.
Yeah, like we had pickle pizza last year. What a highlight, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Always something a little bit strange or wild or odd, but people love it.
Yeah.
It's new, right?
I think that's why a lot of people, visit State Fair is the midway and the food vendors.
That's exactly right.
There's something for everybody, right? I mean, that might not be your thing, but there's something else that might be your thing.
That's right. That's
So
right.
let's talk about how do you, the midway, the food vendors. Now, there's usually, how do the people come for the livestock? How does all that come about?
Yeah, so we have, kids that want to participate. So we, throughout the year, have programmings, education. They apply, they get their animal, they raise their animal, and then, of course, the grand opening is when they could bring their animal to the fair and they showcase it. So it's months and months of preparation. It teaches those children responsibility and youth and raising animals properly. And we're excited that we can be that place that they come and really, really showcase their hard work throughout the year. And that's what we're about. We're about youth and education, making sure we provide an educational experience for all those youth that they've worked so hard throughout the year to really come to the fair. And their family comes too, which is always exciting.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, you sometimes see them sleeping in the barns overnight.
I know. They love those animals.
They do. And
yeah.
Have they also shown those animals or won prizes for them at county fairs?
Yeah, some of them do. Some of them, if they're breeding animals, they do show them at different fairs as well. So
let's talk about the exhibition hall where folks that have made about anything you can think of, people. Because I live in South County, and South County is there's lots of crafty people.
Oh, yes.
And talented people in South County. And they are always, I'm always thrilled when I go to State Fair and see people that I know that have submitted handmade objects, and they've won prize for it. So how does that all come about?
So we have what we call the Craftsman Marketplace, where we have vendors come from all over the state and country to come to the fairgrounds to sell what they've handmade. So we're excited. We've got anything from handmade like posters and things that they've worked year round to work for, to showcase. So you can come and shop if you'd like. And then we've also got an area called Creative Living, where the kids come and they show their paintings and all their arts and crafts that they make, and we reward their good work and hard work.
And how does that come about? Like, where people that have made quilts, people that have china painted, people that have made jewelry,
woodworking.
Because I never miss that hall. So how do they come to the State Fair?
So they apply.
Okay.
They apply to be a part of our programming, and again, they come to the fairgrounds, they showcase their work, and again, it's just you can see all types of creative works there. It's just beautiful.
It blows my mind.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful, and you can see things from all over the state, which that's what we're about. We're there to showcase the state, and the public helps us do that.
Well, and it covers everything from, canned goods, baked goods, quilts, crochet, knitting, jewelry making, china painting, pottery, art. It's
all
just like
types of things.
You can't hardly see it all.
Exactly.
I love that part. And of course, we have, where I live, we have a club that does woodworking and carving and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I am always amazed at the furniture and the objects these people make. It's just, it's so overwhelming.
Yeah, we have an art portfolio contest with kids that participate from all over the state, and we give out scholarships for these kids to continue their education. And again, we want to give back to the community, and that's the way we do that. So we're excited to reward the ones that have really, really gone above and beyond.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So tell me how you come about. So as I mentioned, you walk into that one hall where you see all of these wonderful things that people have created, and there's always a special exhibit at the beginning of that hall. I remember in the past, because I take pictures all the time, there was one year it was Lego, featuring Lego, everything made from a Lego. One year it was balloons, everything made from a balloon, and I was absolutely blown away by that one. One year it was trains. I remember the trains. So tell me how that exhibit comes about, because that's amazing.
So each year we have a different theme. This year it's going to be on STEM, so we're going to have robotics and drones displayed, and there'll be all kinds of cool interactive exhibits for kids and parents and families to be involved with. So we're so excited about it, and it's going to be something new and different every year, but this year it's going to be specifically on STEM programming.
Oh, that is going to be amazing. That is going to, because that's such a big attraction for families and children.
It is.
To come and see whatever that theme is.
Right. And we're about education, so we want to make sure when you come to the fair, you learn a lot as well.
So if you're just joining me now on Connecting with Kim, my guest in the chair, and I'm thrilled to say so, is Cheryl Flood, who is the CEO of the Florida State Fair Authority. And she is the lady with her team that brings you not only the Florida State Fair, but other events that go on at the Florida State Fairgrounds here in Tampa. So, and we've just been talking about some of the exhibits and how they come about. So what happens with, like we were talking before we went on air about the Clydesdales. So there's also, in addition to the regular livestock and animal husbandry that is featured at the fair, there's also these special exhibits that come about.
Yes.
So how does that happen?
So we work year round to book entertainment. We've got different stages with different music genres for our different fan bases, depending on what kind of music. We've got all types of music on the different stages. So if you enjoy music and relaxing, please come out. We've got different entertainment. We're going to have a ski show this year with a jet ski. It's going to be real exciting. It's going to have a night show with LED. We're going to have a dog show, which does stunt dogs, and they're all rescue animals. So we're going to have all kinds. Annalise Knox is going to be there with her show, which has been at different theme parks across the country. We're going to have a freestyle show with bikes. So anything from thrilling to relaxing to just enjoying time with your family. That's what we're about. We feel like the fun is at the Florida State Fair, so we want families to come out and enjoy and make memories together.
Oh, I totally agree. Now, so I know the State Fair is big on entertainment.
It is.
So can you tell us about any of the other acts that you maybe have booked for State Fair?
We do. We've got stunt shows. We've got all kinds of different types of shows for you to enjoy. Again, from the 3-year-old to going in the petting. We've got petting zoos. We've got a circus. We've got all types. We've got about 80% new entertainment this year. So lots of cool things. I can't tell you everything because I want you to come check it out, but it's going to be great.
Well, before we went on air, you told me, you gave me a statistic of how much was new at the State Fair this year, and I was like, whoa,
yeah, it's
that's
exciting.
a lot.
It's exciting. Yeah, we try to bring new programming each year. Again, we realize we serve a very broad age group, so we want to make sure from the young to the old, we've got something for everyone to enjoy. And again, we know that people are ready to get out and enjoy time with their families. We're going to have beautiful weather. It's going to be great, and we hope you come and enjoy us over that 12-day period.
Well, and I really appreciate that you guys have the, because, my mother and I love to do the State Fair together. We always have. And she's getting older now, and maybe her mobility is, not what she's kind of knee problem. So I love how you have that tent where you first walk in, where you can get enhanced mobility.
Absolutely. At all of our gates, we've got mobility, a tent, so that way if you can't get around, you've got accessibility there. So feel free to check that out. We've got a lot more seating this year as well, so more areas for people to come in and relax and enjoy. When you come somewhere like as large as the Florida State Fair, we're 336 acres. So huge property. We want to make sure that you can come, relax, and enjoy. So we're offering a lot more seating space this year. So we're so excited to do that as well.
So is that 336 acres just the fair, or does that include the parking? It's the entire fairgrounds. Because I must say, one thing that I've always found, and I want to share this with you people out there who've never been to State Fair, I find that the access and the parking, it's so easy.
Free parking at the State Fair.
And it's free. I mean, how many places in Tampa or in the Hillsborough County can you go where the parking's free?
It's one of the few. It's one of the few.
I mean, and they've got the little shuttles. Like if you're not fortunate enough and get there early enough, which I always do, to be able, they've got the shuttles that will bring you right to the gate. It could be easier.
Yeah, and I encourage, if you don't like large crowds, come during the week. The weekdays are perfect for smaller crowds. If you want the ability to get around a little better without big crowds, weekdays are the place that you really want to come and enjoy. So
well, and my mom and I always come during the weekdays because we're both retired. And so we can come during the week, and it works out really well.
It's wonderful.
We take advantage of like sometimes you guys have specials where if you make a donation of this or you provide that, which I love too.
So we'll have special promotions throughout the week. We'll announce that closer to fair. Go to our website, floridastatefair.com, and you'll be able to see all of our promotions throughout the week. Come for discounted rates as well. So it's very exciting. And I also encourage you ahead of time, if you'll get your discount tickets at your local Wawa, they're discounted. So definitely do that, and also do that in advance so you don't have to wait in line. It just makes things so much better.
It does. Although I must say that when I go, I've never had trouble with the lines. We've never waited.
We try to move people quickly.
You really do. But are the tickets only going to be sold at Wawa this year?
Yeah, so they're online also and at Wawa.
Okay. So, we would be kind of remiss if we didn't kind of touch on this because, let's face it, COVID had such a big impact on everything that happened in our lives. And I know it had an impact on State Fair. So what did you have to adjust, and what have you learned from going through that experience?
Sure. It was hard, I'll be honest with you. We were fortunate that we still had a State Fair. Most State Fairs canceled across the country. So thankfully we were open. We had to make adjustments. We had to require masks. We also required people to have more hand sanitation stations, spread exhibitors out to make sure we had more space for the public. And you know what? People still came out. People respected the rules, and they abided by them and still had a great time. But thankfully we were past that. We were able to offer now, and now we're open. We're back to the days of just being able to not worry about those things. But again, if you're still cognizant of COVID, we want to make sure that you feel protected. So if you want to have safety precautions in place, we welcome that as well.
Well, and I've said that all along. First of all, thanks to our great governor and the fact that we live in Florida, where we can be pretty much outside year round.
That's right.
sometimes in July and August you don't want to be, but you can.
That's right.
So we were fortunate that way, and also because we were remaining open. We were not closing
Absolutely.
down. But I always say to everybody, if you have concerns, you should always do whatever you feel the most comfortable with. Nobody's
Absolutely.
forcing you to do anything.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. That's exactly right.
So what would you say in all your years of experience what's the biggest challenge that State Fair presents every year when you have to plan for it?
Just the volume of people. I mean, we have 500,000 people over 12 days. We want to make sure that we're appealing to all ages. We have a huge public and community that we serve here, so we want to make sure we offer something for everyone. So making sure that we plan for that's important. And again, when you're dealing with that volume of people, you want to make sure that people have a good experience. They come on property, they're able to get in safely, have a safe experience there on property. We want to make sure that they leave happy and that they enjoy time with their family and make memories. And that's what we're about. We're about serving this community and serving the state and bringing pride to what we do as your state fair. And that's something that we take pride in and we want to do well. And we spend year-round in training and customer service training, again, just to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to serve the public well.
Well, I have to say, I think you're doing a great job because, all the years I've been going to State Fair, Florida State Fair, which has been since 2005 and probably before that a couple of times, but since 2005. So, and the people that work the ticket booths, the people that are, there in the different halls, I've never had a bad experience at all. Even the people that are, cleaning up and keeping the public facilities, the restrooms and whatnot, clean and orderly, and they're just all wonderful, wonderful people.
Well, we're thankful to have a great team. I mean, we really do. They work tons of hours during the state fair. Again, they love what they do, which is helpful, but they work hard. They work hard to make sure that the public enjoys the experience on property, and that's what we're about.
They do. Now, have you experienced, this might be a little touchy, but I feel like I have to ask about it. Have you experienced the same issue of being able to keep your team together to run State Fair that other people are experiencing?
Yeah, I think everybody's dealing with labor issues around the country, no doubt. I mean, we actually had to downsize a little bit during COVID. We're back to the levels we were pre-COVID, so we're thankful for that. But again, I think that people had fatigue during that time, but you know what, thankfully I've got a very loyal team, and they certainly have, like I said, they've worked year round, they work very hard, and this is our Super Bowl. The State Fair
really
is the Super
State Fair's
Bowl,
your Super
so
Bowl.
they look for it to year round. It's our showcase. It's something that it's our mission. It's what we're about. So they really put everything into it. And again, we want people like you to be our ambassadors. We want you to be prideful of the State Fair of Florida, and I think we're doing a good job of providing that.
No, I'm a nut about it. I tell everybody.
I know.
Yeah,
great.
I really am. And I, take a lot of pictures and I post, and I the whole time I'm at State Fair, I'm like posting like crazy because I just love it so much. So. Before I give you an opportunity to speak directly to our watching and listening audience, I would think that in your job that when you end a state fair, it seems like you must have a wish list, right, of things that you want to keep doing and adding and changing to the state fair?
We do. I mean, we have a team that walks around every single day during the state fair making notes of things that we can do better and different next year. So we're even from the planning stages, we're always trying to be better at what we do. So it's always next year, what are we going to offer different? What is some of the new entertainment? What is some of the things that are in Tampa Bay area that our fan base and our customers want to see? Those are the things we want to learn from. So we want to hear from you. We want to know what you want to see at your state fair. So send us an email, call our office, let us know what you want to see, because we're so excited to make sure year upon a year we're improving every single year.
And is it ever an issue of funding for running the state fair?
Well, naturally expenses are up for everybody.
Yeah.
So, we make sure that we offer something that's very affordable. I mean, we are very affordable experience, family-friendly experience, entertainment experience in the community, and that's what we want to remain, if we can, the best of our ability.
Great. So I like to give everyone who's on the show an opportunity to look into their camera, because you have your own camera, and I'd like you to take a few moments to deliver any message to our listening and watching audience that you want them to come away with. So
Sure.
There you go.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. We are so excited about the 23 fair, and your fun is at the Florida State Fair, so bring your families out. Make sure you enjoy that time, make memories, that's what we're about, and have a wonderful time. We want to make sure you have such an enjoyable experience on property. So come to the Florida State Fair February 9th through the 20th, and we'll see you there.
Oh, that's great. And what you might want to share the website with them one more time just so they know.
Visit floridastatefair.com. You will see all the promotions, ticket prices, and everything, and all of our entertainment offerings, new foods, anything you want to know about the upcoming fair, go to the floridastatefair.com.
I use your website a lot, so I know that it's very easy to navigate.
It is.
It's very informative, and you can buy tickets in advance, so you can take you can take advantage of specials that they're going to have
That's
on
exactly
admission
right.
during the week. I mean, the Florida State Fair, I really feel is affordable. One thing I want to ask you, we talked about before we went on air, but my mother and I used to go to the Florida Agricultural Building to eat prior COVID.
Sure, the Ag Hall of
because
Fame.
Is that coming back? Are they going to be serving
It
food
is.
in the?
So we're not serving food in there, but we do have different commodity groups that serve different types of tastings throughout the fair. So,
Okay, good.
Yes.
Because they used to make the best omelets
They
there.
do. They do. They're so well known for that.
And they
So,
would sell that
yes,
honey.
Yes.
I would always buy my honey there.
Yes, I'm sure it'll be back.
Oh,
it'll be back.
I hope so, because that was a
yes.
real thrill for me.
Yes.
Well, Cheryl, I cannot thank you enough. I hope I was not too gushy.
No, it's wonderful. Well, we thank you for highlighting us.
I really appreciate you being on Connecting with Kim. It's been a real thrill for me. It's something that when I started at the show at TBAE, it was like right there high on my list of people I want to have on the show,
Oh, thank
because I love
you.
State Fair, so thank you for being my guest.
Thank you.
So that's about all we have time for today. My guest on Connecting with Kim today was Cheryl Flood, who is the CEO of the Florida State Fair Authority. And I can't urge you enough to go visit the Florida State Fair. It's a fun time, it's safe, it's accessible, it's easy, there's something for everybody, whatever your level of interest is. If it's just the midway, you can indulge that. If it's just the food vendors, you can indulge that. If it's just the livestock or watching people who've created, seeing what they've created, there is literally something for everybody. And like Cheryl said, from the youngest state fair goer to the oldest state fair goer, and they even help provide mobility options for those of you who might feel like, well, I just can't walk the whole state fair. And then, of course, there's Cracker Country, which is open pretty much year-round, but I always hit it when I'm at the state fair. So I urge you to go. I want to give a shout out to my sponsor again, the Spring of Tampa Bay, for providing my on-air wardrobe, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in to Connecting with Kim, because the goal every show is to bring you information about people, places, and entities in Tampa Bay area that make living your life in our corner of paradise that much better. Come back next week.